Hello, hi, welcome to the video. If you've not been here before, hello, my name's Fiona. I'm an illustrator living in Edinburgh in Scotland, and this channel is my place to share my sketchbooks, my drawing trips, interesting places, artist day in the life vlogs, and yeah, that kind of thing. So for this video, I wanted to do a low-key little chatty sketchbook afternoon type of thing. I really like doing these because they remind me of being at art college when we'd either all just be sitting in the studio working in our sketchbooks and chatting, or like sitting in a cafe with a friend and having a doodle. That is very much the vibe I'm trying to cultivate here. That's what I want these chill little videos to feel like. So if you like, please do chuck me on in the background while you've got your own sketchbook or your own craft project, whatever you're working on, and it'll be like we're having a little artist hangout. Actually, please tell me in the comments what you're working on if you are doing that, because I'm nosy. I want to hear about what you're working on. Also, another reason I decided to make time to do this video, I remember one of the goals I set out for myself at the start of this year. I made a little artist goals video. It was to finish 4 sketchbooks this year, because I decided that about filling a sketchbook every 3 months would be like a good rate of filling sketchbooks. I don't know. And I have to confess, at this point, that's not going to happen. Unless a miracle occurs, I'm not going to have filled 4 sketchbooks before the end of the year. There's just been, I don't know, there's just been too much other stuff going on this year. But I don't want to abandon the principle altogether. I still want to finish the year strong with doing lots of sketchbooking. So with that in mind, that is what we are doing today. I talk a lot on this channel about sketchbooks and filling sketchbooks and stuff like that. And I was thinking about why I think filling sketchbooks is important. I mean, as an artist, there's no rule saying that you have to keep sketchbooks at all. Lots of people don't. Lots of people work on loose sheets and they're happy with that, and that's cool. But for me, I love my sketchbooks. They're part of me. I love them as artifacts. I love looking back on them over the years and seeing how my art has changed, and seeing all the interesting places I've been and sketched, all the interesting things I've, stuck and taped and collaged in as well. I also just think they're so valuable as like extra hard drive storage for my brain, if that makes sense. I don't make every page a beautiful artwork, so many pages of this book are covered in scribbled notes that only make sense to me, half-baked ideas for things like future pin badges and prints that I'll probably never make, experiments with new ways to use media, ways to draw faces and that kind of thing. And honestly, that stuff, to me, that's gold dust. I really like keeping all of that together in one book, so I can look back through it whenever I need inspiration, whenever I'm stuck for an idea for a new pin badge, or when I'm staring at an illustration thinking, how do I want to plan the colours for this? I can just flip back through my sketchbooks and be like, oh yeah, there's a random great idea from 5 months ago that I never used. I'll do that. I remember one of my first sketchbook flip throughs I did on this channel started with me saying something like, this book is the contents of my brain from the last year. And I really stand by that. That's what sketchbooks are to me, external brain storage. So that's why sketchbooks are so important. And that's why it's so important for me to sit down to these sketchbook afternoons every once in a while and just draw what I feel like drawing. Even if it feels like there's other big projects I need to be doing and this feels kind of not that productive, I really think it's important to carve out time to do it, for me anyway. It really feels like an essential part of the process, the artist process. So yeah, even though I have not been able to meet my New Year's resolution of 4 full sketchbooks this year, I still think I'll have a similar resolution next year, because I still want to aim for it and I still want to prioritize it, and I think it helps with that. So anyway, what I'm vaguely working on in the sketchbook today is new sticker ideas. I'm going to be selling at a lot of different Christmas arts and crafts markets coming up, so I'm thinking about stock for those. That's what I've got in mind at the minute. From previous markets, something I've learned is that one of the best sellers is always stickers, and I think it's because they're priced around the £2.50 mark. People usually don't think twice and they just buy one if they want one, as opposed to, the prints, which are maybe like £16 or £20. They're more of like, people have to think about it, but the stickers can just be a spontaneous purchase. When you're selling those in decent quantities, yeah, they cost £2.50, but that really adds up and you can make a decent bit doing that. So that's the strategy for this season of Christmas markets. I'm going to be working on expanding my selection of sticker designs. So these axolotls I'm working on, these are going to become a sticker, I think. And I really want to do like a cute little snail as well, but I'm not sure about how exactly to do that one. So that's what I'm working on today, just like hashing out some new ideas for those. So the upcoming markets that I have, if you're in Scotland, or if you're going to be in Scotland the next few months, please come and see me. And not just me, of course, there's always so many cool, talented craftspeople at these things. So the markets I'm going to be doing, first of all in November, on the 22nd, I'm going to be at Craft and Flea, Glasgow, which is at the Briggait, or Briggait, I'm not sure how to say it. I'll write everything down in the description. That's the 22nd of November in Glasgow. And then the next day, I'm going to be at Craft and Flea, Aberdeen, which is in the Music Hall, Union Street. That's the 22nd of November. Then in December, all of the December ones are in Edinburgh. The first one is the Out of the Blue Market in Leith. That's on the 5th of December. And then I'll be at 3D 2D Christmas in the Assembly Rooms on George Street. That's the 6th and 7th December. And then finally, I'll be at Winter in the West End from the 8th to the 14th of December, and that's at St John's Church on Princes Street. And again, that's all in Edinburgh in December. I will write all of these down in the description. And yeah, if you're in any of those cities, honestly, even if I wasn't selling at these events, I'd still really recommend them because they're so nice for stuff like Christmas shopping. I just think that, getting your Christmas presents for people from like small businesses and local craftspeople, it just means they're going to be so much more unique and interesting. Honestly, half the time when I do these markets, I spend half of what I make just going around and buying all these interesting trinkets from everyone. They're like a treasure trove, honestly. It's just a nice way to give people something that feels really unique and interesting. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a cool way to contribute to your community in general. You know what I mean? And honestly, Amazon does not need any more of your money. They're fine. They're going to be fine without your 20 quid. Amazon is fine. You can support some small business people instead. So yes, that's a lot of markets. Actually 9 consecutive days at one point. Yikes. Such is the life of a small business at Christmas time. I really need to have some decent sessions restocking lino prints because I've almost sold out and I'm thinking about some new products as well. Like I said, I've got a bunch of new sticker designs in the works. There's a few that I've already completely finished and made. I just need to get around to ordering them. And I'm currently designing some Christmas cards as well. But the Christmas cards I'm working on, I'm feeling kind of resistant to really typical Christmassy imagery. And I'm putting more of a sort of fantasy, folky sort of spin on them. So yeah, hopefully they'll turn out cool. I don't have anything finished to show you just yet, but hopefully I will. By the next proper art vlog, I should have something to show you soon. And honestly, as well as the Christmas cards and the new stickers and stuff, I've been really busy on the like personal life side of stuff too as well lately. If you didn't catch me talking about it in some past videos, I just ran the Amsterdam Marathon about 2 weeks ago. I've been running for years, but this was my first actual marathon. It was amazing. It was so overwhelming and so hard, but I'm really proud of myself to see that I'm, capable of doing something like that. I've never been so tired in my life, but it was really cool to know that I could do it. Andy was waiting along the course to support me, which was really cool of him. He was waiting at, I think it was the 24-mile mark, and I had been through it by that point, 24 miles. I actually nearly cried when I saw him. I'd been running for over 4 hours straight at that point. I'd been on such a mental roller coaster, but yeah, he gave me like a quick hug and that gave me the energy to get past the 26 miles. I did it. And then at the end, I got my medal, I got my goodie bag, and I just sat down straight after the finish. And then I had to call Andy being like, can you just come and find me? Because I actually can't stand up. I need to be wrenched back onto my feet. And then I need to be led back to the hotel because I can't even think. There's no blood left in my brain cells. Anyway, I'm so proud of myself. And once I'd had a good long bath and eaten my dinner in the hotel bed, I was just getting excited thinking about aiming for doing another one day. So yes, I've got the marathon bug big time. So with the Amsterdam Marathon, I was fundraising with Cats Protection for it. and I'm so happy to say we've raised over £300 to help rehome and microchip and neuter cats in the UK. I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who donated. I read all of the messages that people left with their donations, so I know that some of you came through my YouTube channel, even people from other countries and continents, and that makes me so happy that we could come together and do that as a channel. That's so cool. So thank you so much from the absolute bottom of my heart, truly. That was just, yeah, so heartwarming reading through all those messages. The art supplies I'm using right now, by the way, if anyone wants to know, I tend to like to sketch in coloured pencil rather than graphite, because I think it looks cleaner, and I find that graphite is just too smudgy. I end up, grey all down the side of my hand. So I like to sketch in coloured pencils. And today I've been sketching with pink Pilot Colour Eno. I really like these because they're erasable and they're very light, so they sort of disappear when you colour over them. And for adding colour, I've been using the Art X acrylic paint markers. I have got another bigger video reviewing these on my page that you can check out if you like. I think they're really great. And for line art over the top, I'm using Prismacolor coloured pencils. If you've got any other questions or anything like that about what I use, art supplies or just arty questions, feel free to chuck them down in the comments. I love talking about art supplies, as you know, and just arty stuff in general. So yeah, that's been my life recently, and my life over the next few months. That was an efficient little catch up. I'm just going to wrap it up here and play myself out with some music, I think. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. This has been really cozy and fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye!